Your soul is probably begging you to let go and to let go of who you think that you have to be because of things that you were told, things that you were brought up in, and that's left you in this state to perform and to be something that you're not. And at a certain point, when the two worlds between your ego and the soul start to really heavily either disagree or completely separate from each other, that is about the time to consider just letting go. And what does it mean to let go? To let go doesn't mean that you stop pursuing things, that you stop trying to improve, that you just say whatever and let yourself rot. That's not what letting go is. What letting go in a healthy way is having your ego and soul in beautiful integration, having them in clean harmony, constant communication with each other, and then moving forward towards a particular direction. Because when those two are in harmony and when they're both integrated and aligned, everything will start to flow a lot more natural. Things will feel less challenging to you. That doesn't mean problems will go away. That doesn't mean everything will all of a sudden vanish and you're just in this paradise. But the challenges ahead of you will feel something you can deal with. You can manage it. You'll feel in a healthier, calmer state of being. You see, the soul is the realm of the inner child. And the inner child has wounds. Everybody's has wounds. Some larger, some smaller. It varies all across the board. And when we ignore that soul, when we ignore the inner child and live in the state of ego, which is often what's sort of prescribed nowadays, to just live in the world of material, no spiritual element, no inner work, just use particular language, say this to yourself, say that. It has a place for it, of course. But if you abandon the soul, you will find internal conflict to be unbearable. You feel not in control anymore because the soul has a particular manifestation. It will aim to protect itself, but it also aims to balance itself. If something is troubling you, there are certain memories you want to avoid, we might make it dormant, cast it deep into your unconscious mind. Or as its way to balance, if you're lacking particular empathy, maybe you're lacking attention growing up, love and affection from people you cared about. Perhaps in the future you have this heavy desire to balance that out through maybe food or drinking or showing yourself as only a being of sexuality to gain particular attention, or being a guy who sleeps around a lot as a way to show how charming he is. It acts in two ways. But the healthier approach is by understanding how it's operating, shedding light on it, seeing what it's doing. Because imagine if you can, and it's not about removing your issues. You can't just remove them. But by casting a light on them through your eyes inwardly, observing them, seeing them as to how they function, you can then get to a place where you can decide either to let go of particular events that don't serve you anymore. They're old stories. So you can let go, or you can accept and integrate. And then finally, changing the story going forward, reinterpreting that situation. It could be a combination, it could be a singular, only one, only two, only three, maybe a mix of all of them. But when all those things are in harmony, and that inner child feels cared for, that you've given it that time, and the ego is working in relationship now with that, things will start to flow for you. Things will feel a little more easier. The hard times in your life will be tough, but you always feel the strength that you can deal with it. Things won't affect you as badly. You won't be craving certain things anymore. You'll be looking for a more holistic life. And so, understanding that it's the dynamic of the two, having a practical strategy in terms of how to understand, how to dive deep inwardly, and then also at the same time having actual practical steps for the ego. What are steps we can do to move forward? What are things we can do to organize our thoughts, organize the things we say to ourselves? Because once we do a lot of healing work, the only thing left behind oftentimes are just old stories. Old stories that we've just told ourselves ad nauseum. And it's time to change the story, to let go, and to bring yourself into this new plane that when you step into, you're going to say, I cannot believe where I was for the last number of years, or however long you've been in this state of identity loss. When you get into that plane, that state of being, things will feel okay. Things will feel okay. Things can feel extraordinary again. You can feel again. You can see colors more vibrantly. You can really immerse yourself in life rather than autonomously just moving around, barely there, disengaged with everything. And I know that's not what you want. You want to live with purpose and meaning. And if you want to go deeper, you can click the button below. It'll send you over to my website. And then I have a newsletter that I release every single month to the people who are part of that community. And it's a place that I expand on topics and go further into detail for you. And it was a place that I wish I had when I was going through my period of identity loss after I was pursuing a particular dream that I thought was going to change everything for me. And then when one day I woke up, my soul said, we're not doing this anymore. This is not who you are. Everything fell apart and I had to figure out what to do. And so I developed a Rule of Three method that helped me get through that, to rebuild my purpose, rediscover my identity, and actually move towards a more integrated being. So I'm more than happy I want to share with you. And it was something I wish I had when I was going through that time.